You keep waking up and saying, "It was just a dream." But what if I told you it wasn't? What if those strange images that show up while you sleep, the random scenes, the familiar faces in unfamiliar places, the feelings that linger even after you wake up, were actually the most honest messages your soul has been trying to send you? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you ignore your dreams, the more you disconnect from yourself. And no, it's not just about forgetting your dreams. It's about forgetting who you truly are. Because dreams are the only time of day when your mind stops controlling everything, and your unconscious finally has space to speak about what hurts, what wants to be born, what needs to end. Most people think dreams are just random mental noise, but dreams aren't chaos. They're coded messages from the deepest part of you. And if you've been feeling lost, exhausted, stuck in the same patterns, maybe it's because you've been ignoring the one place that still holds your truth, your inner world. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need magic formulas or spiritual mastery to understand what your dreams are showing you. You just need something few people ever taught you, the ability to listen with presence. Because behind that strange dream you forgot over breakfast might be the answer you've been searching for years. Your purpose, your pain, your next step, your truest self. And once you learn how to speak that language, things begin to make sense in a way logic never could. Today, you're not just going to hear about dreams. You're going to reconnect with forgotten parts of yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that the way out you've been chasing isn't out there. It's been calling you every night. You've just been too distracted to listen. Most people go through life thinking dreams are just weird images their brain throws together while they sleep. But dreams are actually one of the most honest ways your soul tries to speak to you. While your mind stays busy during the day, your soul remains quiet, observing everything. Then, at night, when your defenses drop and the noise fades, your soul finally finds a way to express itself. And it does that through symbols, emotions, and stories that are more real than you think. Dreams don't use normal words because the soul doesn't speak the way we're used to. It communicates in pictures, feelings, patterns, like scenes from a movie only you can fully understand. That's why a dream might feel strange, but still leave you with a deep emotion the next morning. It's trying to show you something your logical mind doesn't want to face. The more you try to interpret dreams with logic, the further you get from their true meaning. For example, imagine someone dreaming about driving a car they can't control. That might sound random, but it could reflect how they feel in life, overwhelmed, directionless, or pressured by outside forces. A dream like that isn't nonsense. It's your soul painting a picture of how lost or powerless you feel. And when you start to see it that way, even the strangest dream becomes a clue, a mirror, or sometimes a warning sign you really need to pay attention to. There was a woman who told me she had a recurring dream of running through a hallway full of doors, never finding the right one. At first, she thought it meant nothing, but when we explored it, she realized she had been avoiding important decisions for years. Her dream was the soul's way of saying, "You're searching, but you're not choosing." Once she connected the dots, she started making choices she had feared, and her dream disappeared completely. So if you've ever wondered why certain dreams repeat, or why some images stick in your mind long after you wake up, maybe it's time to stop ignoring them. Your dreams are not random. They are your soul's way of reminding you of what truly matters, what's unresolved, or what's quietly asking for attention. And once you learn to listen, you'll see that your soul has been trying to guide you this whole time. And the next message might already be waiting for you tonight. During the day, you're busy pretending everything's fine. You smile when you're tired, stay quiet when you're angry, and push down feelings just to get through it all. But those emotions don't disappear. They wait. At night, when you can't distract yourself with noise or tasks, they come back. And that's when your dreams start showing you the truth you've been hiding from. Think about it. How many times have you dreamed of falling, running, or being chased? These dreams aren't accidents. They often reflect fear, pressure, or anxiety that you didn't deal with while awake. Your conscious mind may ignore those feelings, but your unconscious won't. Your dreams become the stage where those emotions finally speak, and they often do it in powerful, symbolic ways. A woman once told me she kept dreaming of being trapped in small rooms. No matter what she did, she couldn't get out. At first, she thought it was just stress, but as we talked, She realized she was in a toxic relationship that made her feel emotionally cornered. Her dream wasn't random. It was a message her soul had been trying to send for months, begging her to act. That's the thing. Your dreams don't lie. You can fool others and even yourself, but not your subconscious. It stores everything you avoid, old pain, hidden anger, buried fears, and plays it back at night like a movie only you can watch. The question is, will you finally stop and pay attention to what it's showing you? Or will you keep waking up and pretending it was just a weird dream? Because once you see dreams as mirrors, not mysteries, you realize how much they reveal. And the more you repress, the louder those nighttime messages become. The soul doesn't shout, but when we ignore it long enough, even whispers start to feel like screams. So what is your soul trying to say through the dreams you keep having over and over again? Not every dream comes from your personal experience. Sometimes what you see at night doesn't belong to you, but to those who came before you. Trauma, pain, even unfulfilled dreams can be passed down through generations. Your grandmother's fears, your father's silence, or your great-grandmother's sorrow might be living inside you. And when the soul is ready, these things often show up in dreams. Science now talks about epigenetics, how emotions and memories can leave marks in our DNA. But ancient cultures already knew this. They believed that dreams could carry the weight of the family's history, like whispers from those who couldn't finish what they started. You might dream of war without ever living one, or feel deep sadness in a dream that has no clear source. That's ancestral memory rising to the surface. I once spoke with a man who kept dreaming of running through burning forests. He'd never experienced fire in real life, but his family had escaped a war zone decades earlier. His dream carried that fear, that chaos, passed down like an emotional inheritance. And once he realized that, the dream started to change. It no longer haunted him, but began to guide his healing. That's the power of understanding where your dreams come from. You might think you're broken or strange for what you see at night, when in fact, you're carrying a story that's older than you. These dreams are invitations, not to fear the past, but to honor it, to listen. Because when something is unresolved in a family line, it often seeks resolution through the one who dares to look deeper. That might be you. And maybe that's why your dream life feels heavier than it should. So when a dream doesn't make sense, ask yourself, is this even mine? Or could it belong to someone who never got the chance to speak, to heal, or to rest? Because when you carry ancestral dreams, you also carry the chance to end cycles. And the dreams that repeat again and again might just be the ones asking you to break what no one else could. When a dream comes once, you might ignore it. But when it repeats, again and again, it's time to pay attention. Repeating dreams are never random. They're like alarms your soul keeps setting, hoping one day you'll wake up, not just from sleep, but from what you've been avoiding. The more you ignore the message, the louder and more persistent the dream becomes. A repeating dream is often linked to a lesson you haven't fully learned. Maybe it's a situation you keep running from, or an emotion you refuse to feel. These dreams don't go away until something inside you shifts. It's not punishment. It's persistence. Your deeper self is patient but determined, and if it needs to knock 10 times, it will. But it's always knocking with love, not judgment. I remember someone who kept dreaming of being late for an important event. No matter what, they never made it on time. After reflection, they realized they had been putting off a life-changing decision out of fear. The dream wasn't about missing a train, it was about missing their purpose. Once they acted on what they knew they needed to do, the dream stopped entirely. The message had been delivered. Repeating dreams often come with a pattern. Same place, same people, same emotion. That's the clue. It's your soul pointing to something you haven't faced. Sometimes it's childhood pain. Sometimes it's regret. Other times, it's a direction you need to take, but haven't had the courage to follow. Whatever it is, the dream will keep showing up until you finally give it your full attention. So if a certain dream keeps coming back, don't brush it off anymore. Sit with it. Write it down. Feel what it's trying to make you feel. Because some dreams won't stop knocking until the door is opened. And what waits behind that door might be exactly what your heart has been needing all along. No one enjoys having nightmares. They jolt you awake, leave your heart racing, and sometimes linger in your body all day. But nightmares aren't meant to hurt you. They're warnings. They're emotional alarms your soul sets off when something inside you is too loud to stay hidden. Instead of pushing them away, it's time to ask, what are they trying to protect you from? Nightmares usually show up when you've been carrying more than you can handle. Stress, fear, grief, guilt, these emotions build up over time. During the day, you push through, act strong, smile like nothing's wrong. But at night, there's nowhere to hide. Your dreams become the only space where the truth can scream. That's what nightmares are, screams from within. A man once told me he kept dreaming of being chased by shadows. Every time he tried to run, his legs wouldn't move. He thought it was just a bad dream until he realized he had been avoiding a serious conversation with his father for years. The nightmare stopped the week he finally sat down and spoke his truth. It was never about fear. It was about honesty. Your nightmares don't come to punish you. They come to wake you. They shine light on what you've buried. They show you where the pain lives, where the fear hides, where your soul is calling for help. The monster you see might not be real, but the emotion behind it is. And if you're willing to face it, that nightmare can become your greatest teacher. So the next time a nightmare shakes you, don't just try to forget it. Write it down. Feel it. Ask what part of your life is crying for attention. Because ignoring nightmares doesn't make them go away. It only makes them shout louder. And behind every scream, there's usually a message you were never meant to miss. Some dreams don't come to reflect the past, but to prepare you for what's ahead. They arrive with a strange calmness, like a quiet signal that something important is shifting. Sometimes they come with images that feel too clear to ignore. Faces, places, or events that haven't happened yet but somehow feel familiar. Other times, they bring a deep peace that begins to heal emotional wounds from long ago. These are not ordinary dreams. They carry a sacred kind of intelligence from the soul. There have been countless stories of people dreaming about something before it happened. A man dreams of crashing waves days before receiving life-changing news. A woman dreams of a loved one smiling, only to learn later that person passed peacefully that night. These moments are more than coincidences. They're invitations to trust that your soul knows more than your conscious mind does. It sees ahead, it feels deeper, and sometimes it speaks in advance. Dreams like these prepare us with compassion and truth. Some dreams also come to heal what words never could. Maybe you've been carrying grief, shame, or guilt for years, and then you dream of forgiveness, of a moment that brings peace. Even if the person is no longer alive, even if the situation happened long ago, the feeling in the dream is real. It can shift something inside you for good. That's why dreams should never be dismissed. They often do quiet work in places that therapy and logic can't reach. They help us let go, gently and fully. I once met a woman who blamed herself for her mother's death for over a decade. She had tried everything: therapy, books, spiritual work, but the guilt wouldn't lift. Then one night, she dreamed her mother held her face and said, "You can stop now. You did your best." She woke up in tears, but for the first time, felt peace in her body. That dream did what no one else could. It wasn't imagination. It was healing. That's the kind of miracle the dream world can offer. So when you wake up from a dream that feels heavy or full of light or strangely real, don't brush it aside. Write it down. Sit with it. Ask what it's trying to show you or prepare you for. Because dreams are not only about the past, they're bridges to healing, growth, and clarity about what's coming next. And the more you listen, the more prepared and whole you become. If you want to understand your dreams, the first step is simple: pay attention. Most people forget their dreams within minutes of waking up, not because the dream wasn't important, but because they never gave it a place in their life. The key is building a habit of noticing. Keep a notebook or a voice recorder by your bed and write down anything you remember, even if it's just a color, a feeling, or one strange image. Over time, this simple act trains your mind to hold on to dreams longer. Understanding dreams isn't about looking up symbols online. It's about personal meaning. A snake in your dream might mean fear to you, but transformation to someone else. That's why you need to ask yourself how each image made you feel, what it reminded you of, and what's been going on in your life. Dreams speak in your emotional language, not someone else's. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be honest. And the more honest you are with yourself, the clearer the message becomes. A good practice is to read your dreams back after a few days. Sometimes, what seemed random suddenly makes sense once you have space from it. Look for repeating emotions, patterns, or symbols, they usually point to something deeper. And if you can't interpret the dream right away, that's okay. Sometimes just acknowledging it is enough to start the process. The goal isn't to decode everything perfectly, but to build a relationship with your inner world. That connection grows stronger every time you return to it. Some people also find it helpful to ask a question before sleep, something like, "What do I need to know right now?" Or, "What part of me is asking to be seen?" Then, whatever comes in your dream, write it down. Even if it seems silly, trust it. The act of asking with intention opens a space for your soul to respond. Dreams love to meet attention with clarity. When you take them seriously, they often take you deeper than you ever expected. So if you've been saying, "I don't dream," or "I always forget," maybe it's not that the dreams are gone, but that your attention is. Reclaiming that connection starts with one small decision: to care. And once you care, the dreams return. They've always been there, just waiting for you to finally listen. And once you do, you'll notice they've been guiding you all along. Dreams speak in images because that's the language of the soul. Words are useful during the day, but they come with rules, filters, and logic. Images bypass all of that. A single picture can hold more emotion than an entire paragraph. Think of how a photo can make you cry, while an explanation might leave you cold. Dreams know this, and that's why they don't explain, they show. When you dream of flying, falling, running, or drowning, your soul is expressing something deeper than words can carry. Those symbols are packed with emotion, history, and energy. They hit you in the gut, not the brain. That's why you can wake up shaken from a dream, even if you don't understand it logically. It wasn't meant for your thinking mind. It was meant for the part of you that feels everything, but doesn't always speak. There's also a reason dreams use symbols instead of being direct. Your ego, the part of you that defends, denies, and hides, is less active when things don't seem obvious. If the dream told you flat out, "You're heartbroken," you'd argue with it. But if you dream of walking alone in a cold forest, you feel it first. And that feeling goes straight to the truth. That's the genius of the dream language. It gets past your walls. One woman shared she had recurring dreams of broken glass. It took weeks before she realized it reflected how fragile she felt in her job, constantly walking on eggshells. The dream never said, "You're under too much pressure." It showed her. That's what dreams do. They wrap truth in a story, so you don't push it away before you feel it. It's not hiding. It's revealing in a way your heart can accept. So if you've ever wished your dreams would just speak clearly, maybe they already are, just not in the way you expected. The question isn't why they use images. The question is, are you willing to learn that language? Because once you do, every symbol becomes a message, and every message becomes a step closer to knowing yourself. There are moments in life when you just don't know what to do. The mind goes in circles, and no advice feels right. In those moments, your dreams can become a compass. While your thoughts are busy debating, your soul already knows. And dreams are one of the ways that deeper knowing tries to reach you, often quietly, through symbols you might only understand if you pay attention. Dreams don't always give you straight answers, but they do offer clarity. Maybe you're stuck between two choices and dream of a locked door and an open one. Or maybe you dream of a storm passing and the sun breaking through. These aren't just poetic images. They reflect your inner direction. Your soul is trying to guide you, not by telling you what to do, but by helping you feel what's right. That's how inner truth usually speaks, in feelings, not instructions. I once worked with a man torn between staying in a safe job or starting his own business. He kept dreaming of walking on a thin rope, scared but excited. One night, he dreamed he jumped and landed. That dream gave him the courage to try, not because it promised success, but because it showed he could trust his own leap. Dreams can give us that, emotional confirmation, a sense of timing, or simply permission to move forward. When you don't know what to choose, sit with your dreams. Ask questions before bed. What am I not seeing? Where is my fear hiding? What's the next right step for me? Don't expect a textbook answer. Expect a feeling, a scene, a symbol that makes something click inside you. The more you learn to read your own dream language, the more support you'll feel, even in moments of total doubt. So the next time you're caught in hesitation, Look inward before looking outward. Your friends may offer advice, the internet may give opinions, but your dreams offer something deeper. Wisdom that comes from the part of you that already knows. And sometimes, all it takes is one honest dream to remind you of what's always been inside you, waiting to be heard. The dreams you had as a child were never just random fantasies. Even if they seemed silly, strange, or scary, many of them held deep emotional truth. Back then, you didn't have the words to express what you were feeling. So your soul spoke in dreams, through animals, places, fears, or magical adventures. And if you look back now, you might realize they were showing you parts of yourself that needed to be seen. Childhood dreams are powerful because they come from a time when the heart is wide open. You hadn't yet learned to ignore your feelings or push things away. So those dreams often captured raw emotions, joy, fear, loneliness, wonder, all wrapped in images your young mind could understand. A monster under the bed might have meant anxiety. A dream of flying could have been a longing for freedom. These dreams spoke the truth in symbols you could feel. One woman told me she had recurring childhood dreams of being lost in a crowd, unable to find her parents. As an adult, she realized it reflected years of feeling emotionally disconnected from them, even if they were physically present. That dream carried a message she didn't have the tools to process as a child, but it stayed with her, asking to be felt, understood, and healed. Childhood dreams do that. They wait until you're ready to look back and listen. If you can remember some of your early dreams, take time to revisit them. What did they make you feel? What were you going through at the time? Even dreams from years ago can hold keys to wounds you didn't know you still carried. And sometimes, they even point to strengths you've forgotten. Your childhood self often knew things your adult self has buried under responsibility, fear, and noise. So maybe it's time to reconnect with that inner child, the one who dreamed freely, honestly, and without filters. Because the dreams you had back then weren't just stories. They were messages from a soul that was already trying to guide you. And if you listen now, you might discover that some of the answers you're still looking for have been with you all along. If you haven't dreamed in a long time, or if you can't remember your dreams at all, it might be a sign that something inside you is shut down. The dream world is connected to your emotions, your imagination, and your intuition. When those parts of you are blocked, the dreams often go quiet. It's not that they've disappeared. It's that the connection between your outer life and your inner world has gotten weak. And when the soul is ignored long enough, it stops trying to speak. Many people stop dreaming when they're overwhelmed, burned out, or emotionally numb. Life becomes all about survival, work, bills, routines, and there's no space left for reflection. Your body sleeps, but your inner self is disconnected. And dreams, which come from that deeper place, have nowhere to land. It's like a radio trying to tune into a station that's been turned off. But the good news is, that connection can always be rebuilt. One man shared that, after years of chasing goals nonstop, he realized he hadn't remembered a single dream in over 2 years. It was only when he started journaling again, slowing down, and spending time alone, that the dreams returned. And they came back strong, vivid, emotional, and filled with meaning. His soul had been silent, but not absent. It was simply waiting for permission to speak again. If you feel disconnected from your dreams, don't panic, just pause. Start giving yourself space to feel again. Spend a few minutes each morning in silence. Write down even the smallest details you remember when waking. Invite your inner world to come closer. Because your soul wants to communicate. It's built for it. You don't need to force anything. You just need to start listening again, gently and consistently. And once that channel begins to open again, something beautiful happens. You start to feel more alive, more creative, more aware. Because remembering your dreams isn't just about sleep, it's about connection. And when that connection is restored, your soul begins to speak again, often louder, clearer, and wiser than you ever expected. Dreams shouldn't be treated as occasional curiosities. They can become a powerful daily practice, a way to reconnect with yourself, receive guidance, and grow spiritually. Just like brushing your teeth or exercising, tending to your dream life can be a ritual. When you treat dreams with intention, they respond. What was once blurry becomes vivid. What felt random begins to feel sacred. And little by little, your nights start to feed your days with meaning. Start simple. Each morning, before touching your phone, sit for a moment in silence. Ask yourself, what did I feel during sleep? Then write down any image, word, or emotion that comes. Even if it's just a color or a sensation, record it. This tells your unconscious mind, I'm listening. And that act alone deepens the relationship. Over time, you'll not only remember more dreams, you'll begin to understand yourself in ways your waking mind never could. Treat your dreams like letters from a wise friend. Don't rush to analyze. Instead, reflect. Ask what your soul is trying to say. You don't need to become a dream expert, just someone who values what the inner self reveals. If something feels unresolved, sit with it. If something feels important, explore it. You can even share your dreams with someone you trust. Speaking them out loud often unlocks even more insight. A woman once told me she started lighting a candle every morning before reading her dream journal. It became her way of honoring her soul's voice. In just a few weeks, her sense of clarity and creativity increased. She stopped feeling lost. Her dreams became a dialogue, a conversation between her outer life and her inner truth. And what changed wasn't just how she slept, but how she lived. So maybe it's time to make space for your dreams, not just at night, but every day. They're not separate from your real life. They are your real life, speaking in another language. And when you treat them like something sacred, they begin to transform you. Bit by bit, night by night, your soul starts leading you back to where you truly belong. Now that you've seen what your dreams are really made of, whispers from your soul, reflections of your truth, and sometimes warnings you've been too busy to hear, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep pretending they don't mean anything? Or are you finally ready to lean in, listen closer, and explore what they've been trying to tell you all along? You don't need to understand everything overnight. You just need to be willing to sit with the emotions, to feel what you usually avoid, to open the door that your dreams keep knocking on. Because once you do that, once you stop running and start listening, something powerful happens. Clarity comes, healing begins, and your inner world starts guiding your outer life. Ask yourself, what have my dreams been trying to show me that I've refused to see? What pain have I been pushing down during the day that comes alive again every night? And what if, just what if, the life I've been searching for begins the moment I start paying attention to the life I'm already dreaming? This is your moment to reconnect, not with something outside you, but with the part of you that's always known the way. And trust me, once you start walking that path, you'll never want to go back, because your soul doesn't speak through noise. It speaks through symbols, feelings, silence, and dreams. So tell me in the comments, what dream has stayed with you? What message do you think it carried? Let's open that space together. This is a place where the inner world matters. And if this video touched something in you, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because if you think this journey ends here, oh no, my friend, this is just the beginning.